Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I know it's a long weekend in some parts of the world and I hope that you're enjoying it if you have that long weekend. In my part of the world, we just, for me personally, we just finished a really busy event at work, and which is why I missed the last couple of weeks, but I'm really excited to finally have some time to myself. And part of having that time to myself is now having the time to actually film this setup video. So in today's video, I will be setting up my everyday carry journals for 2024. So that is my Hobonichi weeks, which you see here with the monthly kits. I am not going to use the monthly kits in this video because I generally do monthly setup just before each month. And then there are also a bunch of other things that I bought for my Sterling Ink Common Planner in the A6. So these are various dot stickers, various monthly stickers. These are all from the Coffee Monsters Co. I really love their designs, they're really cute. And because international shipping is kind of a bitch, I tend to just keep it to as few stores as I can afford. So the first thing I'm going to do with my Hobonichi weeks is to use this really cute 2024 vinyl. So I got this one, I think it's in the Pixie Desk, and the main reason why I got it is because it really matches the little holo foil sparklers on the weeks. And as you can see here, the 2024 embossing, engraving, debossing, whatever you call it, is not really obvious. So I kind of want to make it pop, so that's what I got this for. It does mean that I have to cover part of the artwork, which is the boat, but I think I can live with that because there's nowhere else to put this that makes sense. So I will lose the boat, but I get emoji instead, so I think that's fine. I will have to say it is a little bit terrifying putting this down because it kind of feels like no take backsies. Once I put it down, it may not, I can't repeal it off again without potentially damaging the cover. And doing this with a camera in front of me is a bit scary because I can't get my face like super close to the thing to make sure that it is perfectly aligned. But I think it came out alright, and I'm sorry if you see my cat in the frame. She is really clingy these couple of days because I haven't been around a lot this few weeks, so she has been very sticky and like she just wants to hang out. And unfortunately, the size of my table means that you will see a black lump, sadly, or maybe not so sadly if you like seeing cat fur. I'm not sure. Yeah. She's one of three, but she is probably the stickiest. Anyway, so I'm just gonna yeet this back into the plastic cover now, and as you can see, I do have a printout of the Protect Your Piece design. I don't have the vinyl yet, it's on the way. I'm very excited about that, but it'll do for now. So that is my Hobonichi weeks on the outside. Now for the inside, I got tabs. Of course I got tabs. So I purchased like a whopping 5 sets of tabs for 2024, and for this particular journal I have two options. So this is my backup option. This is the pastels, and it kind of goes with the whole rainbow holo thing going on over there. But this is my backup option because I already used this exact same set for this year, 2023. So I'm not that keen on reusing it. So I'm going to try out doing some DIY here to make it match this black holo aesthetic going on here. So I got the minimal white blank tabs, and we're going to turn these black and shiny. So fingers crossed this turns out well. So to start with, these are the blank tabs in minimal white. So there's no text, as you can see, just the emoji hits. And I'm using this Faber-Castell black artist pit brush. Is the big one. I don't know where the small one went, but it's fine, it'll do. It's waterproof, which is important for the next steps I'm going to take because I am going to be using metallic watercolor after this. So I wanted something waterproof that would essentially not get smudged or watered down or muddy, whatever else I'm doing after this particular step. So I had to get a waterproof archival kind of situation kind of pen here. So I do kind of go back and forth here on whether I should or should not color the whole tab. So as you can see, there is a slightly gray portion of the tab where it's basically supposed to demarcate where the tab meets the paper. So the part where it's gray is supposed to be on the sheet, whereas the rest of it's supposed to be hanging out. I go back and forth a bit on whether or not to color the whole thing, but at the end of the day, I do decide that I want to keep it entirely black because well, it's a bit tricky to overlay the thing if there is. Anyway, you'll see what I mean later. I'm not gonna make you watch 20 minutes of me basically very meticulously trying to color out this thing, so I'm gonna skip ahead to the next step. But yeah, so you kind of have the idea here of basically what's going on. I am basically just coloring everything other than the emoji head black. Alright, so we have everything black now, and as I mentioned before, I do go back and forth a little bit on this, but now that the main tab is black, I am going to actually get some writing done. So I want to have some hollow-ish metallic text for the words, the months basically, and to do that I am breaking out my shimmer ink. So, or rather, these are metallic watercolors, kind of shimmer metallic watercolors. They are all from the Creatives Kinds, who I love and adore. And honestly, it was quite hard to pick which colors I wanted to use because I have so many of their colors. But at the end of the day, I decided to go with a base of Navy, which is a white, I'm probably mispronouncing it, and Lucy in the Sky, which is this multi-chrome kind of color. So it's a bit blue, a bit purple depending on the angle, and it doesn't really have a base color, so mixing the two together would give it like a bit of a boost basically. So for writing wise, I am gonna use a pointed pen because, well, that's just what I'm familiar with and what I think works best for this. If you have a skinny, metallic pen or something, it could probably also work for this, but I'm working with what I have here. I didn't want to go and buy a metallic pen just for this, so I am using this carrot holder from Ashbush, which is ancient. Honestly, I got this, I want to say 6-7 years ago. Honestly, the resin on or whatever coating they used on this has thoroughly yellowed, probably due to the conditions that I live in, but it's definitely not as the color has definitely changed over time. And then for the nib, I'm using the I think this is the EF66, which is I think it's a bronze nib. I'm not sure, it's been a while, but it's definitely the EF66. So here I'm just going in with the watercolor mix, which, in case you didn't know, you paint on the back of your nib in order to use, and then just writing in all the very many months. And because you have to do both sides, and because there's also notes, this is going to take a while. So depending on how this goes, I might just speed up the whole video because I don't think you want to watch me writing this for another 20 minutes. It does take quite some time. So as you can see, or rather as you cannot see, it's not really obvious because Lucy is kind of a little bit thin, I feel, as a color. So it's something that, which is why I chose the white to kind of help boost it a little bit. but I anticipate needing to go back for more layers. Unfortunately, that's the downside of choosing to use the holo-y color. But yeah, generally I can see the text, which is great. So I'm gonna cut this off here because it's gonna take a while, and I will come back when everything is done, like right about now. So that is everything, and as you can see here, I decided to actually color in everything black. And then now we're going to make it holographic. So I got these I think they call it cold laminate holo film things. So there's a plain holo, there's shards of stuff, there's some sparkle star thing, and then there is this dot star kind of fella. So given that it's sparklers for the cover, I am leaning towards one of the last two, just for these tabs. But since I would like to be able to see the text, I think I'll go for the sparklers because firstly it matches more closely, secondly it's a bit more scattered, so I think it would be easier to see the text underneath. So without much further ado, let's try and get these tabs holoified. Alright, now that sounds like some weird Bleach reference. But anyway, I am going to need to figure out how to do this. I have never done this before. Alright, I have an idea. So I have this sticker transfer paper that I bought from Taobao back in the day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each and every tab off so that they're isolated on their own and put it on here before I do the before I do the overlay on it. So rather than doing the overlay on the whole piece of on the whole sticker sheet, which would be quite nightmarish to remove because it'll all be entirely stuck together and I still need to trim it down. I think this will work better because I'm going to transfer it over, and then after that I will apply the film over before I trim everything down to size. So fingers crossed this actually works. Alright, so now it's all transferred over nicely in a row. I'm gonna cut off a strip of this film paper, and the great part about this is on the back they have a grid, so I kind of have a guideline as to how much I need to cut. And then once that's done, I am gonna apply it. Oh, this is a bit scary, honestly. I have never done this, so I'm really hoping it turns out well. Yeah, but honestly, no promises. Yeah, I have never done this degree of DIY before. As in, not for tabs anyway. I usually just buy them and stick them on and just be done with it. But I really wanted matching tabs this year, as in for next year. So having a bit of difficulty just plucking this fella off the transfer sheet. Yeah. Alright, here we go. So I imagine this is kind of like applying a screen protector, but probably easier because I do get to chop this up afterwards and I do get to pick it up again. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna do just one first, just so that it's not so horrific, just in case I mess up. Alright, here we go. I think I'm just gonna go and do the whole strip in any case. Worst case scenario, I can just order another sheet and try this again. Or I can just use the backup ones. It's alright if I use the same thing, like, multiple times. It's alright. So just making sure everything is pressed in nicely as we go along. Can already kind of see the hollow foil there, which is very exciting. The sparkles are very nice. So I'm a bit worried about September because it got torn along the way. But I'm hoping that this will kind of like hold everything together and, it holds up over the course of the next year. It should. But yeah, fingers crossed. Alright, so now we have them all covered with a good old sparkle. And the next step then is for me to actually get this cut into individual tabs, because right now the overlay is kind of connecting everything. So I'm going to peel this off, and then I am going to actually cut them into their individual tabs and trim down the overlay to fit the tab. Alright, so I didn't film the bit about me cutting them because I tend to hold things really close to my face when I'm cutting, just out of habit, short-sightedness. So yeah, I didn't film that bit, but they're all done now, and I can finally put these tabs into my planner, which I'm really excited to, because I think it's going to look amazing, and I'm actually really excited to see how the whole thing turned out. So I think I might have filmed tabbing in my 2023 setup when I set up my Holo 3 weeks, the spring one, back when I started this channel, but it's basically more or less the same thing, just lining it up and then tabbing it down. These are a little bit trickier because the line for the guideline has kind of disappeared, so that's something I do want to take into account in the future. If I do decide to do this again, I might keep one part like dark gray and one part black, maybe, if I do this for a future set, if there's need, I guess. But in the meantime, there's no need, so I'm just going to kind of estimate it. As long as it looks like it's about the same height from the front, I would just tab it down, because honestly I feel like with these like really little minuscule differences, it's something that probably only I can see. Yeah, as you can see, as you may be able to see, with these I have to use my nail a bit to really get the fold down right, because even though there is that the original tabs was scored, I obviously did not score the laminate, so that's something that I have to press down separately. Also, the rounded corners of the tabs are not cut yet, because would have been really awkward to cut that little almost like a curly bracket kind of thing, the point of a curly bracket when it's still all connected. So I figured it would make more sense to just trim the rounded corner after I finish tabbing everything. So to keep things a bit simpler for myself, I am only tabbing January to December, just the months, because that is what I realize I refer to the most. I use the tabs to mostly refer to things that happened in the past. So for example, if I'm in March and I want to check something that happened in January, the tabs come in really useful for that. But I generally don't use the tabs for anything else other than that, and the fact that it looks cute. In terms of monthly, yearly, and so on and so forth, I don't really see the need to have tabs for that here. The Holo 3 weeks comes with 2 ribbon bookmarks. So my ribbon bookmark is usually on my monthly section for one, and then on the other one it's usually wherever I am in the note pages at the back. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to tab the start of the note pages for myself, and then that's all the additional tabs I'm going to do. That's why there are only 13 tabs here, which also saves me the effort of making more of these. So I can always make more if I need to. I still have blank tabs that I can, you know, turn black, and then I still have leftover like holo film because basically these laminates came in A4 sheets, and obviously these tabs needed way less than an A4 sheet, so I have a lot more. So I can definitely make more if I need it, but I honestly think that all I need will be the 12 months and then the note section. I don't think I will need the section for my monthly or even for the weekly, because the weekly is essentially the core of like this entire planner, so that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I'm going to speed up this part of the video just so that you're not watching me tab this in real time, because I think that will be a bit tedious. So I'm just going to speed this up real quick, and then so hopefully we get to the final effect really soon. Also, you might see here that at some point I gave up on using my nails to score or flatten the tabs, and I just picked up like one of the scoring tools that I had in a drawer somewhere. It's a lot more efficient than trying to use my nails, honestly speaking. My nails are kind of weak from too many soak-off gel manicures, so that is another nightmare altogether. Yeah, so let me just cut ahead real quick to the finished product here. So for the long edge tabs, the January to December that are along the long edge, I actually just use the starting of the grid lines as a bit of a guideline on where to put my tabs. But for the top one, because there isn't much guideline there, I actually kind of like drew a pencil line in to kind of guide myself in, and we're done with tabbing. So there's still like all the shiny little corners, the sharp corners that you see there that I do need to trim off, and then once that is done, I will have my very, very sparkly tabs. Again, I did those off camera because it's a bit hard to cut something that's small with a camera in front with my phone in front of my face. So here we go. This is the final finished product. You can, pardon the glare of my light, but you can see the sparkle of like the holo film, and that's really exciting, and I just really love how this turned out. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to setting up the other everyday carry journal that I have, which is my Sterling Ink Common Planner in the A6. This is a significantly easier setup in that there's very little DIY involved. I bought a bunch of things because there are no kits here for this one. I bought 2 sets of tabs for this, for the weekly and the daily section. I have some flower stickers, I have some monthly stickers, some label stickers, and dot stickers for various purposes, mostly that I will use later in the year. But I just want to set up my tabs and maybe the first page of January. So for this, I picked 2 sets of tabs, and as you can see, the top there already has like a bunch of white tabs that I was too excited and I put them down early. The quarterly tab was a blank tab. There's no quarterly printed tab, so I used a blank one and I just wrote it in. And then I have 2 sets of tabs. So I have the I can't remember if this is the ash or the minimal white, but one or the other, and the latte. And I think that I will put the latte in front, mainly because that's the one that will be seen first, and it goes with the overall design better. It picks up on the interior and the loops and all that very well. So I'm gonna start by tabbing all my weeklies, my vertical weeklies, in order with the latte colored tabs. So once again, I'm going to speed this up because nobody needs to watch me tab for 20 minutes. That's just tedious. But I feel like with tabs, once you get the hang of it, you do get the hang of it, and then like you just roll with it and keep going. So this is my third, fourth time doing tabbing, so it's getting. I think I am getting better at it. Like it's less tedious, tricky. Like one of the things that I found helped is tabbing from the back rather than front, so I can actually see how it lines up with the other fella. So that definitely helps. And yeah, so this is the weekly section. The weekly section I am using for time blocking. So once again, these tabs will let me flip back and refer to a point in time from before easily to go and find like references and stuff. So that is something that I am definitely excited about. Excited to try. The labels that you saw earlier are things that I'm planning to use in this section as well. They do fit fairly well. I think I bought the medium size and they're just a tad bit too small. But given that the lines on this are grid lines rather than like a solid demarcation line between, what do you call it, between like the days, I think that like a little bit, as long as I centralize it, it should be fine. Alright, so that's the last latte tab, and I think I chose pretty well. I really like how it kind of picks up on the peachy nude kind of interior, and it kind of matches without being too strong, like still quite neutral, quite safe, something I won't be bored of for the rest of the year. So now I want to do, I'm thinking, do I want to start using this in December because it starts next month, basically next week, because there is a monthly section here, but the weeklies only start in January. So I think I will hold off and just start using this in January instead, because I do want to use it as a collective kind of thing. So I'm gonna start by making this first page January. So this leftover bit of latte tabs I'm just gonna tuck into the front pocket. I'm not sure if I'll ever use it, but we'll see. And then this is the I'm not sure if this is the ash or the white, can't remember, but regardless, I'm just gonna try and line it up with the January tab in front. So this is the tricky part, which I've never done before, but I want to have it line up with the other set so that it is kind of like hiding behind it, and I want that to happen for like all of them basically. The thing about the common planner is that the daily pages are all blank. So much like how I use the day free this year, I will be tabbing as I go along. So once again, more for referring to things in the past than things in the future. But I do like the idea of having everything tabbed up nicely. So that's definitely something we'll keep doing. So I think this is fairly lined up. I am just going to tab it here, and then quite excited to see everything slowly get filled up as the year goes by. Alright, so one last thing before I wrap up for this setup video. I want to set up my January pages, kinda, sorta. So the monthly section I'm going to use for financial planning, financial tracking rather. So I'm not too sure how I want to do all that yet, quarterly later. But I do want to set up the start of my daily pages, so to speak. I used to do these in my day free until like I think June or July this year, and I do want to go back to it where I have my sleep tracker, hours tracker kind of thing. So thankfully this page does have enough space for me to have 31 lines down with some space for a header. So I'm going to put down this washi sticker with the January text in the center, as centralized as I can get it. And then I will fill in my vertical timeline. And yeah, that will be my time tracker for the coming year. So here I am using my, okay, this is a little complicated. I am using a Sarasa Grand body, which is metal, but the refill that I'm using is a Pentel Energel 0.4 because I prefer a slightly skinnier refill, and I didn't have a Zebra 0.5 on hand, so I'm using a Pentel and is it Pentel? Yeah, Pentel Energel 0.4 refill in this. It's black, just for the weekdays and non-public holidays. And then for the public holidays and the what do you call this? And then for the public holidays and the weekends, I am going to be using my Sarasa Grand also, but the vintage collection. So the red black ink instead. So that's my go-to usually when I am when I need a pen to mark like public holidays. I find that I'm still very used to using red to mark out all these things, but I don't like using a bright red. So the vintage red black does is more muted. It's something that works better for me. Okay, sorry, my cat today is very needy, and she's just hanging out and rolling around behind the book, which is why my book is standing up so nicely over there. She's basically being a book stand today. So I'm going to add just a little bit of decor here with the same collection. So this is the Buff Flowers collection from the Coffee Monsters Co. And they have these really cute like washi paper sticker doodle things. So I'm going to use the corresponding Manda one to kind of decorate my cover. I do kind of want to put some at the bottom just to fill up the space, but I think I will wait for later in the month because I'm not sure how much space this spread is going to take up and stuff like that. I don't want to put on a sticker and then after that, like, have to write over it and stuff. So I kind of put it a bit more flush to the side so that it's not just hanging in the middle of nowhere, but it does also mean I have to trim it off a bit. And unfortunately, what I call my low profile scissors, the scissors that are that I prefer to use when I am trimming edges, is in the office because I haven't dug it out of our stationery drawer yet. So I have to make do with this pair. It's a bit tricky, and it's definitely not my preferred pair of scissors to use for these things, but needs must. So that is my monthly spread. The start of like my dailies spread thing, right? For January. Last bit now is this monthly section, which I'm planning to use for financial tracking and stuff. I haven't quite decided how I want to set it up yet. I'm still thinking, do I want to use this in December just to get a sense of it? But I probably will not. I might do it in like one of the extra spreads in my spring weeks just to get a sense of it. But anyway, yeah, I do know that I do want to put down a section for like, expenses that are needs versus expenses that are wants. So I'm just going to use this pencil over here because a pencil is kind of a need, whereas a highlighter is kind of one, I guess, kind of. So I'm going to use that to mark it off at the top here, just to, I'm not sure this will be a total tally or something, but we shall see. I will hopefully figure it out and like nail down a system as like the year goes by. Yeah, that is my setup more or less done for now. I still have spreads that I do need to work out, like this one, but I feel like that's something that I will need to try out and figure out, and hopefully as I try and figure things out, I will have something to share with you next year. Right, so that is about it for this setup video. It has run rather long, even though I did do my best to cut out the very long, tedious tabbing bits of it, but it's still a bit long, so if you've stuck with me this whole way, thanks. I hope you didn't find it too boring. And yeah, so these are my planners for 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now and have a good long weekend. Bye.